Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and I'm here to talk to you about a Leeds United based sponsor on the channel, teamwallart.com. The link is in the description. Worldwide shipping, and it's unbelievable, guys. As I've told you before, this is the sort of stuff that you can get from these guys. Favourites on the end here, accused of everything, guilty of nothing since 1919. You can get this one for $5.99 if you buy another one for $7.99, and I did that. I've got the one of Marcelo Bielsa here, a beautiful image, really good quality as well, by the way, and of course the title winning boys. Some really good stuff on there, guys. As I said, the link is in the description. I went to these guys. I love this sort of stuff, and they are Leeds United fans. Go check it out. Enjoy the video. Hello everybody, I hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Conor, it is Brownie, and we are back as always with the preview for the big match coming up. Fulham on Friday night, and we're here to give you the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the whatever it is about Leeds United this week. David Brown, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm great, mate. Looking forward to Friday night. It'd be nice to kick the weekend off with a nice win in London for a change, wouldn't it?
That's it, mate. Oh, God, would it ever? Would it ever? That's it's the dream, isn't it? To just get that elusive win in London. It's just get that monkey off our back. We need it, don't we? And this is the perfect time.
Yeah, that is it. That's the monkey off the back. And if you look at the games in London we've had this year, if we're going to do it with any, Fulham's probably our best chance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, generally, I always ask you this at the start, mate. What are your initial thoughts on Fulham so far this season?
Within what they've done this season, or ahead of the game, our chances.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I mean by that is what have you made of the recent run? Because they really have turned it around recently under Parker, haven't they?
Yes, I keep hearing this. They're on an amazing run. I've heard like fans chucking in, "Are we in a relegation battle?" Over the last 10 games, Leeds and Fulham have taken the same amount of points.
Yeah,
but it doesn't seem like that. People think Fulham are on this amazing run and Leeds are losing all these. We've taken the same amount of points over the last 10 games, 13 each. Over the last 5 games, they've scored 2 goals, Fulham. So yes, they've performed better, but does that not show how badly they were doing at the first part of the season? I don't know, but they do seem more galvanised. They're not conceding as many goals. They just seem to be a lot harder to play against. Like we touched on it with the West Ham preview, when they got a 0-0 at West Ham, they just were so more compact and organised.
Yeah.
Whereas in the early part of the season, they were a little bit suspect at the back.
Yeah, definitely, I'd agree. And we're going to touch on that game. Brownie, guys, just before I do start as well, it is Team Wallart. Go check. Brownie, have you got your Team Wallart gear? Have you got it, or have you not? Are you gonna show it to everyone? Are you?
I do. I was saving it for match day, but just looking at these, we've got future England star Bamford.
There we go, glistening in its packaging. I can see there, Brownie.
We've got other England star Phillips.
There he is. Look at that. Lovely. I think that's the new edition, actually, guys. There you go.
And we've got future World Cup winner, Rafinha for Brazil.
I didn't know they'd done a Rafinha one. Very
nice. There's some great stuff on there. So, yeah, go check them out.
Yeah, guys, as I say, with the code 1Leeds, you get 10% off. So go check it out. It really does help the channel massively. But anyway, Brownie, I'm going to throw some stats at you right now. You've just told me that Fulham have only conceded, I think you said they've only scored 2 in the last 5. Well, Brownie, they only scored 2 at home in 2020. We don't like these stats, do we? Because it always seems to bite us on the arse. But to be honest, Brownie, from what I can see right now on my stat sheet, they're better away from home. They got a point at West Bromwich Albion. They got 3 at Liverpool. They got 3 at Everton. Are we looking at a team here who is better away from home than they are at home?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we are. I think if you were, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would say that we've taken more points away from home than we have at home. So it's a good starting point for the show, isn't it? We're better away from home and they're not as good at home. So I'm looking for good omens.
That's it. And what we know as well about Fulham so far this season is that Brownie, they've kind of got a weird formation shape. I mean, we sort of saw the 4-2-3-1 at Ellen Road. We're going to get on some screen shares in a bit. It's going to be a bit of a detailed show. But we've also seen a 4-3-3 against City, which really showed a bit of an attacking intention from Fulham. I mean, they're trying not to sit back. They're trying to get points on the board. Quite frankly, Brownie, they've got no choice. We've seen a 4-4-2 against Liverpool as well, a 4-2-3-1 against Crystal Palace. They played no striker in the last game. They played Ruben Loftus-Cheek as a false 9. Are you expecting Fulham to really come at Leeds this game? Because they can't afford anything else but a win in this one, can they?
No, exactly. I mean, we've lost more games than Fulham this season, as daft as it sounds, but they just draw so many games to Fulham. And I think you're right. I think they've got to come at us. I think you saw with Chelsea when they played a false 9, it just didn't work. And if Fulham were to do the same, I think it'd be very similar. We really restricted Chelsea to shots from outside the box, apart from the one Havertz chance. They didn't really threaten us. And I think if Fulham go down the same route as a false 9, I think, well, as you say, they've scored 2 goals at home in 2020. I think that's part of their problem.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the start of the season. Let's go back to when Helder Costa was looking like Lionel Messi. Let's go back when we actually saw the sun, Brownie. It was after the Liverpool game. It was at home. It was Fulham. And this is what we set up with. We're just going to blank out our faces there. But this is what we set up with. It was standard 4-1-4-1, what we normally see. We can see there Luke Ayling right back. We actually had a centre-back partnership there, Brownie, of Robin Koch and Liam Cooper, Stewie Dallas at left-back, Phillips defensive midfield, the 2 in front of Phillips, the 2 which I don't know if that's worked as a midfield partnership. I think we know that now. Clicky and Rodrigo, and then the wide players, Jack Harrison on the left, Helder Costa on the right, Patrick Bamford up front. What does that scream to you?
I remember the game. To be fair, it was the first game of the season for Scarborough where we were at, and I remember being in the dugout with me watch on with the scores flashing up, and it goes something like 4-1, and I stopped looking. I thought, 3 points, here we go. And then I looked later on, it was 4-3. In the last 10 minutes, I was a nervous wreck in my game and the Leeds game. It was horrendous. I thought, how have we got to this stage? But yeah, you touched on it then with the Click and Rodrigo. We are more attacking that way, but you can see in yourself, we conceded 3 to Fulham. We're just more open as well, aren't we? So it's one of them where I think we've really got to put them on the back foot and have a start like we did at West Brom. Go to the team. You're in the bottom 3. Really stamp our authority down and show them why they're in the bottom 3. If they've scored 2 goals at home in 2020, we've got to use that to our advantage. Don't let them play their game. Let's impose our game on them. That, for me, that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think they're going to come at us. I really do. And we're going to get into a few of the slides from the last game. Brownie, some more stats I'm going to fire at you from the last game. Leeds obviously played our 4-1-4-1 system. They played 4-2-3-1. We had an XG of 2.2. XG being expected goals. If you are new to the One Leeds Fan Channel, Fulham's was 2.1. I'm going to refresh your memory a little bit because you'd have been at the you'd have been at the Scarborough game doing your job. But from what I saw that game, everything from Leeds United came out wide. We were battering them out wide. They had Joe Bryan at left back. And we'll go through their lineup in just a little bit. But everything was going through Costa. Everything was going through Harrison. But I tell you what, Brownie, the central midfield for Leeds, for me, that was the start of it, really. The first time where I turned around to my old man and I said, this could be a problem this season because they were absolutely flooding through the middle. They've got some excellent ball carriers in Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Guisa. Lookman can cut inside as well. Your good pal, Tom Kearney, as well, can be coming off the bench. Overall, Brownie, shots-wise, that game, and in the second half, they really came into it. They had 14 shots. Leeds had 10. They had 92 ball recoveries. Leeds had 86. And surprisingly, Brown, it was the first time we'd seen it in the season, obviously. You know, we played Liverpool the first game. They had 54% possession over the 90 and Leeds had 45% possession. So I think maybe for people coming into it and thinking that Leeds are really going to blow them away, it's going to be a difficult game, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're every right to come at us. Like they've had some really difficult games lately. Fulham, Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham, and they've come through them, and they have picked up good results in them games. So they've every right to think, right, with all due respect, we're playing Leeds now. It's not a team that's in the top 4, 5, 6. This is a game that we need to target. And like you say, they're in a situation now where games are running out and they really do need the points. I personally still do think Fulham will stay up. I do think Fulham will stay up.
I'm on that. You said that to me, and I did a little bit of research on them. I can't profess to know everything about Fulham until this video, but I do agree with you, Brownie. I've done a bit of watching of them today, and yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think Newcastle are on a run where they've won 2 games in 19. They've got no St Maximum, they've got no Wilson, they've got no Almiron. Brighton are the same, but Brighton seem to pick up a win here and there out of nowhere, which might help them out. But as for reverting back to Fulham, this is a game for them. With our history in London, they'll know that it's a game where they can really come at us. But I'm feeling quite confident ahead of it. I really am.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, these are some of the last, obviously we'll get some screenshots up for you now. Brownie, I know you missed it, so we'll take you through it here. I'm sure you did see the highlights. But
yeah, I watched it back. I watched all the games back. And it was one of them games where, I'm sure you're going to go on to it, where it was one of them where first half, and we see it, like you've mentioned with the midfield, it was the first time where it was apparent that the midfield was going to become a problem for Leeds this season. I mean, it has throughout the season. We've never really established that, right, that's our midfield 3 and that's what we're going to roll with. We've chopped and changed all the way through the season in there.
Yeah. Helder Costa's finish was an absolutely brilliant finish, knocked on by Liam Cooper. Helder Costa evaded any attention and fired it into the roof of the net, really. And that's when we genuinely thought that this was the coming of Helder Costa. We're not going to go on to Mitrovic's goal because I try alienate anything of Mitrovic out of my mind, to be honest. But at this point, it was 1-1, a lovely penalty finished by Click. And this was a real nice little segment here, Brownie. As you can see here, this is where I've circled the midfield of Fulham here because they're very good and very quick at getting back into the formation. And that's what Scott Parker's made them. He's made them very rigid. And you can even see here when Leeds are piling forward in our numbers like we normally do, Fulham are back in a rigid system. But this is where Click played a lovely through ball. Bamford did what he does, and he put it away. And it was... look at this. It's like loading from the 90s, isn't it? Look at this. Yeah, it's a lovely finish here from Patrick Bamford, which made it 3-1 to Leeds. But Brownie, if I'm talking on a standpoint of some worry, Leeds went 4. We got the 4th. Lovely finish here by Helder Costa. But it was a little bit of I don't know if it was a capitulation, Brownie. This date the post in the last minute, and I tell you what, if that had gone in, it'd have been another Cardiff scenario. But here
about that.
But here, Brownie, you look at the minute, 61st minute, and I've just circled Anguissa because this was his ball carrying movement. It's where he dragged Calvin Phillips from there. X marks the spot here. He sets it up, and Fulham get right back into it at 4-2. But Anguissa here. He's very, very good on the ball, very press resistant, as we like to say on this channel. And he really had the beating of Calvin Phillips, I thought, in this game. And he's a real danger, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of their key players. And I mean, that's one thing that I will say well done to Scott Parker and Fulham season. They've stuck to the principles. They've played the same way all season. And it's become apparent that they make the middle of the pitch solid and compact. And I think the wide areas are massive for Leeds on Friday night. As you saw in one of them previous slides, they were really back in a shape, really tight, really narrow, and that's where they're getting the joy. They're getting the joy from compacting the games, and they've just become a bit more solid in defence. And it's almost as if they've been drilling it, and it's finally started to click for them in that sense. So I think wide areas is massive for these. Obviously, Rafinha will be on one wing. Who he goes with on the other, it could be the making of the game.
Definitely. Kevin Otto asks Brownie, where's that accent from?
My accent?
Yeah, come on, tell us. Let us know. What would you say? Well, you're not shaky wakey, are you?
No, I'm Leeds, but I don't know.
We'll just say you're a Leeds lad.
I don't know. I mean, I've lived in Leeds all my life, so.
There we go. Max Metcalf, when are you doing the shirt giveaway draw, Conor? We forgot about this. We need a hat. Go on, Brownie. Yeah, I can see you about to say something.
I say I need a hat. Look at my hair. No, there was 3 to put in the draw, Conor. You said you were ringmaster on this one.
Listen, with the detail I've gone into this video, guys, you'll know that I'm trying my best. So what we'll do is we'll do the hat. We'll do the hat draw. We'll either do it at the end of this video or we'll do it at the start of the game. But Brownie, this was a bit more of what we saw in the second half. Fulham it was 4-2, and they started really coming forward here. Look, there's only 5 minutes, and already it seemed like Leeds were a little bit tired. I don't know if it was the overhang of the previous season. Obviously, Fulham had that, but they've got a lot of quality and depth off the bench. Tete coming forward here, Bobby Decordova, Reed, and this actually led to their 3rd goal, and Tete actually got the ball there. And Brownie, we don't normally see this with Leeds, do we? There's no one marking Tete for miles.
Well, that's just what I'm about to say. Like, first part of the season, we saw quite a bit of this basketball type of thing, and 4-2 up with 24 minutes left, and we're still exposed. Whereas I think of late, we seem to have learned from that, if that makes sense. Like in the Chelsea game, we weren't as gung-ho. We went to Leicester away, we were more disciplined. Newcastle away, we were more disciplined. We seem to be evolving in that sense of we've got our lead. Now we're not gonna pile bodies forward and get caught out like that. Like Palace away, we were 3-1 down, and there was the overload where they scored the 4th, and we seem to have moved away from that situation happening. I hope I haven't put the kiss of death on it and we see it Friday night, but we just do seem a little bit more disciplined in that regard. Yeah,
definitely. No, I'd agree with that. I think it is, and I think we've seen that as well, because we've not been conceding as many goals as we have through stages. You know, you look at that period of time where it was Palace and it was Leicester, and you were thinking, for goodness sake, where is this next clean sheet going to come from? But we've got a fair few clean sheets now, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, at one point like that spell, we'd conceded double figures in 3 games, like over the course of 3 games. It was bonkers. Whereas now making Arsenal to a blank, Chelsea to a blank. We have got that in us, and it's just finding it on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going to share my screen now, Brownie. This is what we were doing earlier on the Perot Rumour Mill. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. But we're just going to share the screen now, and we're just going to have a little bit of a look at what we can expect from Leeds United. Okay. Righto. Look at this feature. Okay, so... Oh, can you see my page here, Brownie?
Yeah, spot on, mate. I like the yellow and blue. There we go.
I purposefully got Visa's advert to that. Yeah. That's what I've...
the bank cards are available.
So, Brownie, last 6 results, I think that is. So we'll go in chronological order. Burnley 1, Fulham 1. Fulham 1, Sheffield United 0. Crystal Palace 0. Fulham 0. Fulham 0. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0, Fulham 1, Fulham 0, Man City 3, and aside from the Burnley game, it really is something to nil, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I was alluding to at the start of the show. That you just seem more organised and disciplined, and they are close games, but they're getting to the stage of the season now, Fulham, where they need to be a little bit more expansive to stay in the league. I think they will do, but they do need to turn them draws into wins, even if it's just one of them, just that extra couple of points here and there. But yeah, the results speak for themselves. They're very close, they're very cagey, which again alludes to what I said about, I think they compact the middle of the pitch out, and that's probably where we're weakest. So we need to make sure the game's played on the outside wing areas.
And as you can see here, Brownie, some of the top performers, Ademola Lookman, who I don't think he started against us. I think he came off the bench, which I thought was a bit of a mistake from Parker, really. I think he's the danger man. And Guisa, and we see a lot of defenders in there, Brownie, as well. You know, you've got Joachim Anderson, Anthony Robinson, Tosin Adebaraj. I'm just going to say Tosin. I could pronounce his name before, but I think it's just when I'm in the heat of the street.
Go on, so have another go.
Adaraboyo, is that it?
We're just going to keep sitting here until you get it right.
Do you actually know what it is?
No? Tosin sounds great.
I'm more staggered by the fact he's 23. Jesus. But there you go. So you've got sort of 3 defenders that make up a top 5 of performers really for Fulham, and it shows sort of how big a strides they've made really at the back. And you've got Areola, who's only 7th there, as you can see, and Tete in 8th.
It just echoes what Scott Parker's made him. He's made him very dogged, gritty, hard to beat.
Yeah,
they've kind of Fulham in the Championship for me were more of a flair team. They were a bit like a Brentford that score more goals than you did. That's what the impression I got from Fulham, whereas he's sort of like gone full circle with them and he's turned them, like you say, all the players are defended minded, that they're top rated players, which just shows that they've stuck to the principles and they've finally got it drilled into them. So it will be a tough game. Would I take a point? I don't think I would. I think I want to win after the results in the last 5 or 6 for us. I think I want to win on the board, but it won't be easy.
Yeah, we've had Sujal saying Leeds win, London curse over. Ross Hazelhurst says Leeds 3, Fulham 0. That'd be a nice repeat. But Brownie, I want to move on to a bit of a tactics share. Okay, so this is what I've been looking at. You guys get involved in the chat as well. This is sort of how I'm expecting the game to go, really, just in terms of how I think Fulham are going to set up. Brownie, please interject. I think I've got Lamina's name wrong. That's slightly embarrassing. Lamina. But yeah, just interject whenever you can, mate. But I can see Fulham, I don't know about you, but for this game, because of their necessity to win, I can see them really starting a 4-3-3. I don't know about you. Do you think they'll start maybe a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1?
It really depends if they're targeting this Leeds game as a must-win for them. I probably should have looked at their fixtures coming up. I haven't really looked at them, but I don't think they're the kindest either. So I think they're really going to go for this game, which could suit us. It really could suit us. If they come after us, Leeds are the type of team that don't mind getting into that basketball style of game. And if they do I would rather a team come at us than be sat in 2 banks of 4. And I think we're not as effective when we have to break teams down. You saw it in the Championship when teams came to Ellen Road and just sat and defended for 90 minutes, killed the game, wasted time, took 4 minutes to take a throw in. It really infuriated Leeds, and there were certain games where we just couldn't break it down. Whereas when teams come at us, we pick them off. And
yeah, definitely.
And I kind of hope that they do come at us in an attacking sense, because I really do think we would pick them off in the areas that we can get into.
Yeah, 2 quick mentions as well. Jack Dominic is saying the under 18s are 3-0 up. That's great to see. White Peacock says there are 2 more likes for 100. So please, guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button. It's all appreciated. And as I said, please check out teamwarlike.com. It really does help the channel. But like I said, Brownie, as you just said, I completely agree with you. And we're going to get into the Leeds team in a bit. That's why I've left this blank. But I can see Josh Madger starting for them. He's come in, and I think they're trying to get a little bit of pace up front, to partner with Lookman and Cavallero. But that front 3 for me, it's got a lot of pace, and it's got a lot of pace to trouble Leeds United's defence. If you were Scott Parker, and we're playing devil's advocate, of course, because we're doing a preview here, would you go with Mitrovic or would you go with Josh Madger? I'll tell you what I'd be doing, Brownie. I would be going for Mitrovic. I think he's got a very good record against Leeds. He seems to cause a little bit of controversy and loves playing against Leeds half of the time as well. So I would be starting Mitrovic. What would you do if you were Scott Parker?
I'd probably go the other way. I think Leeds have handled the units thrown up against us pretty well this year. You look at the likes of when Calvert-Lewin and Callum Wilson and your Ayus at Palace, your players that like to hold the ball up and bring players into. I think we've handled them quite well, but it's one of the. This is why they're in such a predicament, Fulham, because if they go in Madger, that it shows they're going for it. they're just going out pace, all out pace, and they're really going to go for us. If they start with Mitrovic, it probably mean they're going to be a little bit more reserved. But again, I don't think Cooper will make Friday night. So would the pace unsettle Llorente, Koch, or whether it be... I think we'll play the same team personally, Leeds. I don't think it's going to change from a 0-0 against Chelsea.
There's been a few comments as well, Brownie, that these two, we've seen Joe Bryan out of the starting lineup for Aina, who's been brilliant for them this season. Obviously, we've seen Tosin come in for Tim Ream. We've seen Anderson come in for Michael Hector. Are you sort of a little bit wary of Fulham's fullbacks because they do like to bomb on as well? If it isn't Aina, it can be Anthony Robinson. Do you think these are two areas where they can hurt Leeds as well?
See, again, I hope they do bomb on.
Yeah, so we can essentially
if they bomb on, if they leave Rafinha and Harrison on the other side with nobody near them, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird one for me because I'm so hoping that they come at us. I'm really hoping they go for it because I do feel that then they've kind of moved away from their dogged game plan, their dogged rigidness. And if they really do start to bomb players forward, then I think we pick them off all night long.
Yeah, I mean, I could see something like this when they're in attack at sort of a 3-6-1. Harrison Reed dropping in, making into a back three, and I can really see Fulham going for this. And I think they're going to try overload here with the pockets, with potentially Anguissa on this side, actually Lamina on the other side, and try overload us here. But this is where, Brownie, it's so important for these players, isn't it? These midfield players for Leeds, who for me haven't really hit the dizzy heights this year in terms of winning a lot of midfield battles, but this game is pivotal for these men in the middle, isn't it?
Well, if that one's Roberts that you're holding on, he needs to be another 10 yards further forward because that's just his game. He won't trap back into them pockets because so then it becomes even more open.
Do you want to go through the Leeds team?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, all right. So obviously, we're going with Big Mez in net. I'm doing this one-handed as well, so apologies if it's looking absolutely horrendous. But what are we looking at what are we looking at right back? Obviously, Luke Ayling.
Yeah, England's new right back, Luke Ayling. We'll go with him.
There we go. I'm seeing a few donations in there. Blue Boys Network, thank you so much, Mike. Mike is an Everton fan. Quality channel, go check him out. Ayling, right back. Centre halves. Brownie, what are we thinking?
Llorente for sure. I think if Strike's available, he'll play, but it depends on the fitness of Koch. Strike,
surely not Brownie. Surely he can't be thrown in, can he?
Who, Koch?
Yeah.
Why not?
Do you think for this game?
I mean, he played the 23s the other day, didn't he? He's back, he's fit. I don't think he probably won't start. Who are you saying is going to partner with Llorente?
I'd be happy with Strike in there. I think Strike's got a really good percentage at the back as well. Just in terms, I think he's won his last the 10 games he started this year. I think Leeds have been on he's been on the winning side 6 or 7 of the times. I think Strike's been unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, he's probably been our best centre half this year, Strike. I really would say that, and that speaks volumes when he's got a German and Spanish international in front of him, and it just echoes why he's having to think about: does he want to play for Holland? Does he want to play for Belgium? I think that's how good he's been. He's now got the liberty to be able to pick who he wants to play for. Left back, I think you go the same team. Alioski. I'm putting Alioski there.
Okay, Brownie with Alioski. This is where the worry is with Alioski, and I think this is what what we did last time. This is where I think Bielsa was a little bit worried last time, because what you do get from Scott Parker's team is a team that will sort of press and recover balls high up if they can. I think Lookman's a very, very good player. If you get an Anguissa here as well, overloading that right side with Magic coming over and making a few triangles, you're not a little bit worried about Alioski being here. And we saw in the last game with Chelsea tried to isolate him. We saw that with Pulisic. Can we not see Fulham doing the exact same with sort of Lookman and Anguissa? No?
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea tried to isolate him with Pulisic. They had Havertz drifting over and Ziyech was up there as well. They didn't score.
True.
it's one of them for me where, yeah, Alioski is weak. It does weaken our team, but I'd rather Dallas be in that midfield. Honestly, you could put.
Well, can I ask you a question then? Are you starting Alioski there? Are you starting Alioski there because you want him to start there, or are you doing it because you just want Dallas to play in the midfield?
Leaning towards because I want Dallas in the midfield. I just think we're more stable and we don't get ran through as much with Phillips and Dallas both in there.
All right. Well, I'm happy with that. I'd agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate. So
yeah. That's probably why though, where you've had to do the piece this week on a new left back, because we're playing people there just to get Dallas in the midfield, and it echoes like the video you did this week on the new left back. Hopefully, we're getting. It's clear that that's the reason why. The only reason Alioski is playing, just so we can get Dallas in midfield next year. Hopefully, we've got a new left back, a new centre midfield, and then it's a completely different conversation. But for now, I mean, who would you play midfield then? If you play Dallas left back, we'll flip it round. If you put Dallas left back, who plays in midfield for you?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, what we did last time, and I guess it was to good effect in a sense because we scored 4 goals, but then we conceded 3, was having KP, Rodrigo, and Click in there. But Brownie, we can't do that anymore. We can't do that anymore unless you throw in a wild card in there and sticking Leif Davis at left back. But we know he's not going to do that.
I mean, it's a good shout, to be fair. I mean, Click's, he's sat out, he's had his rest. He came on in the other game against Chelsea. So he could very well go with Dallas.
Shackleton says Luke Fruin.
Where at? Centre midfield?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, for a bit of it. I think Click starts before Shackleton for me still.
I'll tell you what, Brownie, I would much rather have Shackleton in there instead of a Click Rodrigo partnership, and maybe that is a highly controversial thing to say, but those two for me are just...
Do you think Rodrigo's going to start there?
It's a good point. Well, is he injured? We don't know, do we? He sort of murmured it today that he might be injured, he might not be injured. Bielsa doing his normal sort of sit on the fence, that sort of stuff.
I can't see him dropping Roberts.
True. We've not even touched on Roberts, have we?
Nope.
Okay. So we're sticking with... Okay, we'll stick Stu in there. Stu has to go in there. We're not putting him wide right. He's not at Brentford. We'll put Stu in there. Okay. So you're thinking he's sticking Roberts in there?
Yeah, I think it'd be the same team.
All right, that's fine. I don't mind Roberts in there. These have now got capital letters because my thumbs have figured out.
It's very unlike Bielsa to change a team. He's very much of a, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Ollie Davis has just put Roberts played well. He won't be dropped. But yeah, the thing is, Brownie, weirdly enough, mate, we've actually got options now. You've got Rodrigo, you've got Click, you've got Pablo. We know we don't start that much on the bench. We've got Shaq. So, when you're looking at this lineup, and it's throwing a bit of a conundrum to Scott Parker as well, because he's not played against this midfield before. Rodrigo and Click are the exact same player, really, and that's what he had to come up against last time.
Well, the other thing we haven't thought about, which could then change the whole complex of that midfield, is Bamford fit? I mean, we saw him come off against Chelsea after half an hour. Will he start? Because then if he doesn't, then you're looking at...
Today, Brownie Bielsa said that he will be fit to play.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't see that. I was too busy winning accumulators at Cheltenham.
Do you know what would be different though, Brownie? What I say and what I agree with you in a sense of it changing completely is if Fulham did this, and if Fulham went 4-4-2, that's when the whole dynamic would change, because we would have to go to 3 at the back, wouldn't we?
Yeah, which would then suggest us starting Dallas left back, because if we were to go 3 at the back, you could just very easily make Ayling into a centre back, put Dallas into midfield, and then you've got your 3 at the back like he normally does. So that's exactly like that. You see 3 go up against 2, and then Dallas is your versatile player who that can then slot back into the midfield. So if he's got that in the back of his mind that Fulham might go over 2 up top, he can't really then start Alioski left back, because what do you do with Alioski if we then have to revert to a 3 at the back after 5 minutes? True.
Right, okay. We're looking at wide right. What are you thinking?
Rafinha.
So you think he's going to go on the right?
Yeah.
Rafa on the right. That'd be nice to see. I prefer him on the right.
Yeah, I do. I prefer him up over there with Ayling. I just think they've got a better understanding. You see, when Rafa goes to the left, it's a bit like on. I mean, I don't play it, but a bit like on FIFA. You know, when you see all the connections and the lines, and if they were gold, I mean, they've got a better connection with each other. I just feel like if you were putting lines on each other, Ayling and Rafinha would have a good, solid connection line.
Definitely. Wide left.
I think he goes Harrison again.
So,
do you think he goes Harrison or Costa or Poveda or?
Yeah, I mean, Poveda. I'm sort of Poveda. I mean, that'd be staggering. I think that'd be the change of the season. Something that none of us saw. I mean, that'd be unbelievable. I mean, Costa for me, Brownie. I don't know about you, but I don't think he can play on the left. He can play on the right. He can cut inside every now and again, and we don't really see a good game from him really when he's on the right consistently. And it's a problem with a lot of our players in the Premier League, isn't it? It's getting that consistency week in, week out. I think Harrison and Costa are struggling with that. Yeah,
I agree, mate.
So we'll go.
And then Bamford to start, which is a bonus. It means he's fit, available. It also makes it was the right decision to come off in the Chelsea game. It's made him, rather than struggle on and make it worse, he's made himself available for the Fulham match.
And what I've just said here is, you know, the beautiful thing about Bamford is wherever this centre-back goes, wherever he goes, Bamford's going to cut off the line, isn't it? He's going to be cutting off the line between the centre-backs. And I think we saw a big problem with Bamford going off and Rodrigo staying on really in that last game.
Yeah, massive. I mean, what we said on the Chelsea review, like anybody who was ever in doubt of Bamford's ability, what he brought to the team, when Roberts and Rodrigo were entwining in that top spot after he went off, it was just so clear that they were just under so much less pressure up there. They were just getting out far easier. So Bamford...
Brownie, I was just going to ask you in terms of the big battles in this game. Obviously, they've got a couple of players out of position here. I think Fulham are in a 4-4-2, but if Fulham are just playing in a 4-3-3, who do you think the big battles are in this game?
I think Anguissa in there with Phillips. You mentioned it at the start of the show that you felt that Anguissa really dominated Phillips. I think he needs to reverse that. Phillips needs to dominate him back. And I think Lookman and Dallas, I think we saw with Dallas at Ellen Road last year when Hull came with Bowen before he got his move to West Ham.
Yep.
And it might be another reason why Bielsa uses Dallas there. He put Dallas out there to counteract Bowen because he always liked to cut in onto his left foot. And it's a very similar thing with Lookman. He might put Dallas out there purely just to deal with Lookman, which would be another key battle, I think.
Definitely. Right, guys, we're about 40 minutes in. I've timed this perfectly, Brownie, because I know people love to go off and watch the football. So, I know it's Champions League nights. I've seen someone just said, "Are you guys watch Chelsea Athletic?" I probably will be. Vic Vinegar's also said Fulham could play 3-5-2. Vic, they could play anything. They've played so many different formations this year. But I think, to be honest, it's going to be a 4-3-3 because they need the win. Brownie, are we going to go with the score? Are we going to do the score predictions? Is that what we're going to do?
Definitely, mate. We're 2-2 now. We're level. I predicted a draw against Chelsea. So 2-2 we are. I'm going to go. I'll go first this week. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Leeds win.
3-1 Leeds win, right?
Surely, because I think they're going to come at us, and I think it's going to have a feel to the West Brom game where it just clicks.
Yeah. Obviously, before I tell you my score prediction, guys, 250 views and 130 likes. If you do me a solid, each and every one of you, it's completely free. If you'd like the video, that would be amazing. And
I'll give you one of my tips for Cheltenham tomorrow if we get it bumped up.
You gonna go then? Are you gonna tell them?
Not yet. They haven't hit like yet.
Oh well, yeah, okay. Yeah. If you see the like score,
I did have a treble Aki win today. We've popped the kettle on, bringing it home. Nice 9-1 he was.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 2-2. I'm gonna go with the Desmond.
Do you ever think Leeds will win? Ever?
It's a catch-22. I can't say they'll win because everyone has a go at me.
That's good, though. Neither of us have predicted a defeat, so that's positive. We both think we're going to get something from the game. It's another point towards the elusive 40. Tomorrow night, could we? No, we couldn't go over 30 now. We're on 36, aren't we? So we could be 1 point away from 40.
Yeah, that's true. And guys, with regards to the surprise shirt prize giveaway,
are we going to do it now?
Yeah, I just don't have a hat or anything to rubbish up, really. You know what I mean? I don't want to do people dirty. So I guess we could just leave it and then do it afterwards. If you get what I'm trying to say.
After the Fulham game.
Yeah. Should we do that?
You're the boss. I'm just here to talk rubbish.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that because we had a winner anyway. We had a winner for the surprise shirt, so we'll have some more things coming for you guys. But we did have a winner. We had bloody 4 rollovers, I think we had. So we did have a winner. So the winner will be announced on the Fulham review show. We have the names. We have the 3 names. So, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. Brownie, Jack Dominic has just said use an online ting. You don't know the names off by heart, do you?
Names of what?
Names of the people who got the scores correct. So we know we had Max Metcalf.
Yeah, we had Max. There was Mick Bash, and was it Cameron Scowgill?
Cameron Scowgill, right? Okay. Well, to be honest, Jack, I would do that, but I don't want to do anyone dirty, so I want to do it proper professionally. So we will do it. It will be on the Fulham review. Don't worry, guys. Max is reminding us he is one of them. Don't worry, Max. We're not forgetting.
I couldn't believe, by the way, there was one person that predicted 0-0, let alone 3. That is incredible. That is some good going. And we predict our scores, me and Conor, between us. And what we might do, start maybe next season from the game week 1, is we'll have a Conor against me against a viewer. We'll get a different viewer on predicting the scores for the score predictions, and we'll keep it as a running tally.
Yeah, and with that, what I want to do, guys, is, and I want to implement this into the new season as well, I want to do a fan phone-in. So every single week, me and Brownie are going to do a review, and we'll probably, instead of doing a player ratings, because everybody does a player rating, I want to get more interaction. So we're going to, I'm going to try to do a fan phone-in. Brownie can be on there as well, and we can have you guys coming on and talking and chewing the fat with us. I think that's a really good idea. So if you're up for that.
Yeah, especially as well, if we'll have fans back in the ground. So it might be someone heading back from the Emirates or Beckford, Trafford, whatever it's called.
Trafford.
Coming back from, who knows, whoever comes up from the Championship. We'd be probably Norwich and somewhere. But you'd be on your way back from the game. So it'd be good to catch up with people who've actually been to the game as well.
Yeah, Brownie, you need to give everyone your tip. Mike Reed's asked.
For tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tweet it.
So tweet it. You know what to do. You have to go to Leeds Fan Channel and follow us everywhere. Like I said, guys, once again, anything on Team Warlock, it's a £5 for a plat. And Brownie's just showing you some really good ones.
Oh, class. This guy's going to score. This guy is going to score.
There he is. Raf, look at him. Beautiful gear. Look at him. But yeah, guys, check that out. Leeds gets you a 10% discount off. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we will see you in a bit. Cheers.